just got back to work at nights. Was it like 7 in the morning, heading home. I'll be home soonish. And it was a pretty good day overall. Well, one of the plus sides of it is being back. I went from just being a cleaner to being a driver. So now I still do a lot of the same jobs when I drive. A big part of the reason why I wanted to do that, I was asked if I was interested, but I had to study for a test. Then I had to go do a whole different shift, which was the AM shift, and it was a complete change up, and it was supposed to be like 2 weeks, 3, it turns to a month and a week or so, like 4 or 5 weeks, maybe even a little longer. It was like around there, and maybe like 5.5 week out max, but that was my determination to make sure I pass all this driving stuff. And the big thing with that is because we're training back to nights, it was a nice pay boost on top of that. And then also, if I want to be a lead and run my own crew, if a supervisor, a safety, or anything else, I was going to have to pass all that anyways, the driving. So it was kind of one of those things, I figured in this company, I kind of went from like, maybe there's no moving up, I'm just going to kind of keep my head down, do my thing, and, see where shit's at in a year. Instead, I started seeing some opportunity, and I was just pointing out, like, I want to be the best asset I can for you guys. And I'm not just like, hey, if you want someone to, in a better position and better pay, I'm your guy. Instead I'm like, I told them, I'm like, I want to be the best asset that I can for this company. And, I do think that I can handle a lot, but also with training, I know I can take on just about anything. I never look for easy, but I do try to make things somewhat simple. And simple doesn't have to be, like I said, I don't look at that as easy, but I look at it as simple as, all right, you drive here, unload this, you load that, drive to your next spot, unload this, load that. And that doesn't mean the job's easy, but you're making it simple, so it's not this complex thing. And I feel like that's the issue. People always kind of look for like an easy way out with things. Well, I just try to make things simple, because I'm very literal a lot of the times. So being super literal can also be making your job a little harder than it has to be. Because they're like, yeah, throw 5 in, and you're like, 5, oh, it could be 6. Well, 6, and it's like, well, if it's 4, it's not a big deal. And they're like, okay, I'll do 4. Then it's like, wait, don't do 4. Try doing 5 though. And it was like, what? And it was like, if I would have just roughly did the 5, 6, so whatever I just kind of end up having available and just give it, it would just been a lot easier. Because I also realized a lot of these people that are out here training you, like especially for these jobs, a lot of the times they're not even passing anything to train people. They don't even know how to train people, how to talk to people, how to listen, how to de-escalate a situation. Like, a lot of them really don't. They just learned to do their job when they first got there. Then they started doing it whatever which way worked the best for them. And now they've been there so long that they just figure they seem like an ideal person to train, or just nobody else is willing to do it. And I do feel like that's one of the problems. And I feel like a lot of times the majority of the people that actually train pretty well are sometimes even like people that haven't been there that long, because they're over here just like, hey, I learned this, but I've also realized I had to do that in my own kind of way. But I recommend you talking to your people. And I say that because they don't, like, I feel like they're not going to sound so like confident if they don't really know. Because I'm going to be honest, that shit annoys me. Like, I'm okay when someone doesn't know the answer to something. Like, I feel like I can respect that when someone's like, I really don't know. But I feel like when then people try to like BS you and act like they know everything, but then like you kind of go for their advice and you take it very literal, and then you do it yourself and it's not the results you wanted, and then you would ask them, be like, hey, like I was thinking about doing this, but I did this because you said that. And they're like, oh, well, your ideas sound better. Why'd you listen to mine? And it's like, I thought you would have been an example. So I just feel like that, just always kind of just remember. And I thought a lot of that just kind of worked into my favor, because that's how I ended up, I feel like, going from being a cleaner to getting a chance to become a driver there. And the thing was, I had my license and shit, but they do their own way of training. But the thing is, it's not just them. If I was to go to another company at this facility, I would have already had to pass that driving thing. Any type of lead, supervisor, I would have had to pass the driving thing. So I seen it as just an opportunity to take that step up. One, learn, get the knowledge from myself, but it's also just one way that I'm a little more of an asset, because I feel like that's what it's about. I feel like when you have a job, a lot of times it's not like, hey, if you got a job that pays better and I can do less work, or it sounds like a better job, I'm your guy for that. Like, how does that sound going to your manager? But instead of hey, I've been working on this, but I want to let you know I want to be the best asset I can in this company, and that means I'm willing to learn. I'm just willing to do what it takes, and you just want the opportunity if it comes. And a lot of the times, I feel like when you have a decent relationship with people around you, your managers, they will somewhat look out for you. You may not be the first come to mind. That kind of depends on your relationship with them, but you might be someone that kind of pops in, and more than likely they will address it to you. Now, I do think a part comes in there is you got to be paid yourself. You've been saying you want to do this driving thing, but you knew it was going to be different days, different times, different schedule, but then all of a sudden they're giving you that chance and you're fumbling. So, do be honest. Like, when I had to change my schedule, I was like, hey, I have this doctor's appointment, I have this week, but I can make everything else work. And pretty much what had to happen was, we instead of getting 2 back-to-back days off, it's just I had to split it. So it just felt like a little less rest in a way, but that was for me. But ultimately, I got to do my work priorities while taking what I had to do for myself done, instead of just being like, oh, screw it, like I don't have to do this or do that. I'll figure it out. But I'm just excited. For me, that's an extra like $3 an hour. And then, like I said, any room for improvement. And when you're kind of looking at a company like, hey, maybe I'm just going to work nights, keep my head down, and just, backtrack in a year and see how things are. What's up? Hi, by the way, y'all. And then when you actually see you can have a real opportunity at a company, I feel like, you kind of do get your hopes up in a way. And like, not like it's going to be given to you, but you're like, oh, no shit, like I can actually move up here. Like, I worked at big companies. I've done pest control for 8 years. Ran a route, had my own truck and everything. And the only way you would have moved up is if a new branch would open up somewhere, and you could somehow, and you were kind of good with other managers, and they could kind of help get you in, or if you were just very on top of it yourself and looking for any openings. But a lot of that times, like, they're starting you off at like $50K a year and stuff like that. And I'm not dogging that, but it's like a lot of us were making that just being a tech. Now, obviously, people get raises, and everything as well, but the incentive at some of these jobs for the positions is sometimes kind of sad. And I feel like that's something as like an individual, like, you do have to look at. But on the flip side is, I feel like you do a job, you're getting underpaid, I would, as soon as possible, be trying to figure out when I can go to another place, because I'm going to start applying to other places. Parallel parking. And just do whatever it takes. I tell people, like maybe give it a year, but I wouldn't do any more than that. I'm not could park here, but it's not. I know my girl's gonna be stuck. But really, I'm just appreciative overall, and I think we just gotta kind of remember that. And a big part I'm actually appreciating is I'm getting back in the gym. And it's kind of one of those, like, I feel like when I don't go, oh, I'm a little off. And I feel like it usually doesn't happen within like a week and a half time. But I'm excited to be going back. Look, I'm not a big person when it comes to Planet Fitness, but I gotta give them the shout out because all summer long, at least in Chicago, they're giving students, if you're up to, I think it was like 13 or 14 all the way to 19, you get free membership all summer. So I feel like that's very, very cool. Then on top of that, parents are getting the first month free, and then then you can pay to go to whatever you are. Like I can't even park there. Like I'm paying just to go to a specific location. So I'm paying $15 for that. Otherwise I could pay like 25, 30, and then I could even bring like a guest if I wanted to. Maybe it was like 25. And really that's not bad because my girl and I said, we can do that. But that's not the plan, right now. But I just like that, hey, I can't complain with that price kind of thing. It was safer for me just to pay attention. Yeah, I'm a big believer though of always just safety first with things. But yeah, so I kind of missed out on my shoulder day, so it kind of just turned into back today, and then I added some delts in there, a little bit from like front, mid, rear. I kind of have like a shoulder superset that I do, and I'll give y'all a better understanding of that. But today, going back, I'm debating on going straight to the gym at 7 in the morning, whoops, or go get some sleep and stuff, and just deal with all that when I wake up. Well, I plan to, so this is my debate though, do a regular chest day, or let's change it up and let's do all the big compound movements second. So a lot of times we do that first. Like if you're going to do barbell, dumbbells, split your chest, you're doing any type of like a press typically. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do all that, the presses and all that second, and do things that isolate the muscle first. So in terms of getting a more of a pump, of it being heavier, burning out the muscle, the chest, the pecs overall, we're gonna do that. Like we're gonna destroy it. In terms of getting, like the most strength from your workout, like you're not gonna kill it on these presses because you're going to, so much is going to be taken out of you by doing the flies and the isolation kind of workouts. So when you come and do the press later, it is going to feel more heavier, a little of a strain, but not like in a bad way, just going to be weight. I think it's still going to be a great pump, great feeling. I'm actually thinking I'm going to do that today. I was watching a Rich Piana video and he was kind of talking about that, and he's talking about that's the thing that like Arnold would do. And so I was like, you know what? That actually does sound like a decent workout, and that's what he did initially. So it started off with, it was flat bench, then incline bench, and then he moved on to pec flies. Oh no, I said it backwards actually. See, that's what I would usually do. No, he starts pec flies first. Any type of, like I said, isolation, things like that you're working on. Like, it's usually your secondary workouts. He does that first in this specific thing because you're going to burn out the muscle. And that's what I want to see. I want to just see how much of a pump we can give with the chest going today. And, as being not new, but I guess I say I've never been to the gym in a minute. You're always going to just gain muscle and put mass on. So that's why I just care about going, getting food in me, getting some type of sleep, but also still take care of the shit I gotta do in real life. because that's not real life, but it's something that I enjoy, and I feel like ultimately it is going to make me more of the person that I want to be, because I really got to add a schedule and discipline to my just daily routine. Sometimes when I don't have real shit I got to do, I fall to my lowest standard. I start wanting to sleep in. Maybe you want to smoke a little bit, chill. You're like, man, I got to go back to work tonight. Maybe I'll take it easy. But then you got that workout, you go do some shit, you walk your dog, you kind of start doing things with your day, and it feels good. Like, you feel like you get that blood flow. Like, I actually feel way better today than a lot of the times if I just overslept. Because I work nights, so I just got out. It's like 7 o'clock, I'm getting into the crib and shit. And I was doing mornings for the longest, because I was doing nights. Like, we go to mornings for training. I went back to nights just now. And I feel just way better after going to the gym, trying to get more food in me, staying more hydrated, which I'm super parched right now. So my bad if that's why I'm sounding off. I need to drink something. Ugh. I just don't feel like opening up this big thing of water right now. All I got is this, my coffee. But I'm just excited to go back to the gym today, because it's going to be a great chest workout. And I'm just kind of excited to just change it up a bit. I'm going to do pec flies. I'm going to do cable flies. Pretty much everything that you would kind of do last doing chest, that's going to be first. And then I'm going to end my chest workout with the presses, the flat bench, the incline bench. And in terms of pump, it's going to be great. And in terms of moving heavy weight, it's not going to be great. So you got to definitely see what you kind of want to get out of this. But I want to get a pump. I want to put size on overall. I haven't even been back in the gym for that long. So it's more so just about me putting mass, getting some type of strength back. But initially, I'm just trying to get a killer pump. Can y'all blame me? But I'm gonna get my stuff together. So I need to get in. I'm actually gonna walk my dog. Maybe I'll actually carry on this podcast, my dumbass. This live then. My dog's always got some fun shit going on. By the way, it's a literal dog. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure how to always entertain people with these lives and stuff. Since a lot of people go in and out, they never know if it's some of the same people watching. So like, do I repeat myself? Do I keep it going? But the biggest things that I like with this is just I'm kind of just finding my tribe still. And the thing about me finding my tribe is eventually y'all gonna be linked together. So following me and being a like-minded person, you're going to eventually be linked up with all these other people, and you're going to meet a lot more like-minded people. And I feel like that's a big thing that like I'm trying to bring. It's more like we are a crew and we don't know it type of thing. Because when I see like we can all learn from each other, we can grow with each other, we can grow off of each other, like why not? But see, I feel like some people just don't think like that. Some people don't want that. Some people don't want you doing better than them. And I think that's pretty sad. Like, I want everybody around me to do better than me. Because if they're real people and I'm real doing what I need to do, that's only going to help me. And that's not me. Hey, bro, can I borrow some money? What? No, but that work opportunity. It could be, hey, how much y'all pay over there? Maybe you help get a job. Maybe it's a part-time thing. Maybe they got their own business. Maybe it's some other shit. But you never know if you didn't talk to the people. And I feel like I just always been someone that like people see as like a pretty friendly, approachable person. Which I'm not saying necessarily always like a good thing. But I do ultimately think, it kind of just helps in the favor of getting the benefit of the doubt. I feel like when I'm looking at people, I smile. I feel like sometimes it naturally will kind of change how their mood was or how they were going to address me. I think, like they say with people with sales, is your goal is to get people to mirror you. So if I'm trying to get people to smile, have a good time, be happy and stuff like that, like I have to be doing that myself, but also be doing it in a way that it actually seems like fun to them and they notice it in the first place. Hey, much love to all the people that have just been subscribing and following, because I'm just trying to find my tribe overall. There's so much just going on that I feel like you can't even just say it in a live, and not even just going on now, just in life. And I think we don't always realize how similar we all really are, and how we can all usually just find ways to work with each other. It's not against each other. We're in this together, and I want to be the best individual I can. And I think at one time, I feel like it's like, oh, I want to change the world and be a great, I don't know, some type of great thing to this world. And then when you can't even do certain things for yourself and take care of yourself, you start feeling like that was stupid. Like, why did I ever even think that? But then sometimes when you get to a certain level and you do things and you're like, man, like maybe I actually can change the world and do stuff. So mindset's a wild thing, and it can give a lot of strength or also cripple you at the same time. But I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna go back in the live in a little bit with my dog. But you know what? I'm gonna actually put this down because I'll probably get more traction just leaving this goal for a really long time. I want to try posting a long vlog. So I apologize to people just jumping in. But y'all about to get put down. Yeah, I have no clue. I'm sorry. Checking elevator music. outside. Back in, back outside. Did you jump? Alright, I'm back, my bad for that. So I just wanted to see if to be a difference of, like, if I started another live, like, would this be jumping a little more because I didn't stop, or me having this live going for a little bit longer, will I get a little more activity through that way? So my bad, that was the reason for the dead zone though, just to try to get this a little longer instead of cutting it and doing like multiple vlogs or whatever, multiple vlogs but going live. So what y'all think in the sense of, all right, so what do you think about going to the gym twice, like to do actual like weights? And was that old bird's nest? But without sleeping in between. Now, I feel like people do that more for cardio, be like, hey, cardio in the morning, then they go do whatever they do, maybe they work, they do other stuff, and then they might go do weights later. But what about already doing weights? So this is the case. So yesterday I did it. I slept irregular at night, got up in the morning when I did a cleaning, probably around 5 o'clock, probably like 4 o'clock or so. Actually, it was like 3:30. Go to the gym. I know I'm done for sure by 5. And I was picking up my family from the pool. So that's blessed on me. It's probably, so I lay down at home for probably no more than an hour and a half, but I didn't even like really actually sleep. Maybe I slept in like a 30-45 minute window. I might have actually have like slept 5-10 minutes or so, but for the most part we're just kind of like resting. But then I got up, got moving, ate food. We actually had rice, rotisserie chicken. It was actually pretty fire. Potato salad. It was like off the bones rotisserie chicken, and one was like a barbecue sauce, one was a regular. It wasn't, so it was fire overall. Then had a chicken salad sandwich for lunch. In addition, I even had some cereal in there at work as like a snack. I had this little thing of milk and a little box of cereal. So my point is, I did get some food in me and stuff. And it's just at what point, like right now, I'm not feeling tired, and I know I'm walking my dog right now. So after walking him, I could just get my stuff ready, get a protein shake going, get some more water in me, get myself going, go hit the gym, come back, try to sleep and do whatever else I got to take care of. Or if it's better for me to sleep, get majority of my sleep out and then try going to the gym, then maybe I'll either nap for like an hour or less or not at all. So I'm not sure if y'all got more of experience with what y'all thinking that, because I was always big on you need to get some type of sleep and get food in you. Sometimes I would literally think, and it's wrong, but I would literally think at one time, like, it's not even worth, like, going to the gym if I'm not going to get some sleep, which I'm usually going to get that, but if I was going to get no food in me, like, I'd almost feel like what's going to go into the gym, and I feel like that's dumb, because I could literally just take it as, like, a day of fasting, or something like that. Like, it didn't have to be so severe. Like, I'm still gonna get some type of gains, but I feel like that's also just me understanding a little more now. But I feel like when I was younger, it was only wanting to exercise on and stuff. So I also don't really disagree with myself, because I feel like a level of rest was definitely needed on top of that food. I actually would eat a lot of carbs, and I feel like I was putting on like pretty good size at that. Oh, here we go, the sitting. Like, I feel like I was actually putting on some pretty decent size, having a lot of carbs. And obviously there's a mix in there. It's not like it's all good carbs. It's not all bad, but they're probably not the best, considering you got the sugar for the carbs. And I feel like, come on, go this way, Bean. Gotta get my belly. But I feel like a lot of carbs would be like oatmeal, hash browns, regular rice, brown rice, and I feel like carbs really did kind of help me put size on, but I feel like that was more so when I was younger, which now I'm not really sure. I kind of just got to see, but it was gonna be. Yeah, give me a second. My dog's using the bathroom. I gotta be a good pet owner to clean up after him. Alright, so it's like 7-ish in the morning. I left the gym around 5 o'clock p.m. yesterday, debating on going back to the gym in the next 30 minutes and then go get some sleep and chill for a little bit, or if I should try sleeping now and then going to the gym. I think ultimately it's better to get sleep, but I'm starting to feel kind of awake. But I think I'm just gonna try. You know, it's like when you're in the mood to do something, it's so much easier to do it rather than when you're not. But I feel what builds your character, the discipline, and I feel like what makes you better overall is doing it when you don't feel like doing it. You know, it's the days you don't want to do it that you go out and do it is what really make you. Because of course it's always easy to do something when you're completely in the mood. So I know I gotta just keep that intensity up, even when you don't want to go. You just gotta push yourself. But I actually do feel like going. But I'm debating on if I should try to get some sleep. See, does your dog ever just want to smell the whole thing of grass for a while? Like, there's a good story being told right there. He's like, that bitch down the street's pregnant. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, I think there was a pregnant lady behind me. No, it wasn't. She was got kids. But be my good boy Bane. Oh my gosh. See, sometimes in the mood he wants to run around all over and move quick. Now he's in the mood he just wants to stay in this area and just smell all over. Which I really wanted to. I could get us going, but sometimes I try to embrace and let him just do whatever he wants to do a little bit. You know, I try to think about it like a lot of animals don't have too much things to look forward to. It's kind of like the people they care about, the other animals they care about, food, walks, favorite toy. Like, there's not too much I feel like animals can look forward to. So try to let my boy get on whatever we can. All right, real question though. I went to the gym at 5. I left the gym at 5 p.m. yesterday. It's roughly 7-ish right now. Do I go back to the gym and then sleep, chill, you know, then get ready for going back to work tonight? Or do I try to get some sleep and then go to the gym? It's like, I feel like doing it right now, so it's like I want to make the best out of the situation. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes you just got to get that proper rest, get that food in you, which I've been getting the food in me, but it seems like I'm always kind of lacking on one or the other. maybe that's the move. Go home and try to lay down for the a little bit. Hello. I would like to come up. See, I fuck with that. Only making it happen. Like, you know, I definitely don't like that. It takes up another car's worth of parking. But if he's actually making money off of it, you know what, man? Much respect for doing what he got to do. If he ain't using it and making money off of it, please find another spot to put that shit. I don't even care. Try moving that shit onto your front yard or something. But you know what, man? I feel like when people are working, making money, though, I feel like I can't hate on that, though. Even if those takes up a lot of extra parking. But yeah, speaking of which, man, I'm just really grateful for getting to this position at work. You know, it's nothing crazy, but it's the fact of, hey, making $3 more or so an hour, maybe like 4. Back to work in my nice original schedule I picked. I've got more contacts, so I've been talking with people in other departments, figuring out what pay is and other options. So I feel like I made decent contact with people. I have their information for later type of shit. And so I feel like that's just the benefit of working in different areas. You meet the people, and sometimes you figure out maybe you don't want to be where you're at. You want to do a different position, different spot, or somebody has a little more pull. So I think it's always awesome. You know, like never be fake, but I feel like if your authentic self is a decent human being, I feel like that's the goal. And if it's not, like, don't be fake and try to act like you're a decent human being, but you definitely should work on it. And I feel like that's just, I don't know, that's just, I can't say. I guess if someone doesn't care to do that, I guess something you can't really teach. But it's like you would like to think that they just care about being a decent human. Now, obviously, that means so much different things. We're about to be ending this soon. I think I'm just gonna flip it to my boy. You know, even though I do a lot of movement and stuff at work, you know, in a way, this is kind of like my cardio, which I plan on getting more on top of my cardio. And I think that's how I'm gonna do it. We're gonna have our nice long walks. At least one long one, while one or other two will be a little more decent. Maybe I'll throw one, I can throw in like a jog on a shorter one. And maybe start doing a little something at the gym, even just as like a warm up. Or I also have this thing, it's kind of like you were in the plank position, you put your phone on the thing, and it's pretty much like a piece of plastic. And you're tilting it, but it's like you have these games on your phone. So, you know, imagine it's like a race car game or something like that, and you're going forward, and it's like moving like a treadmill by itself. And you have to move your planks around, you'll flex your core to win the game. So that's gonna definitely be a little more of a game changer with my cardio. It's something that was gifted to me a while ago that I did for a little bit and just didn't keep up with it. But that was more so like an active addiction, and I wasn't going to the gym anyways. So the little bit I was doing it, I was like, why am I even just wasting my time? But, you know, I'm all good now. I like to say, you know, one day at a time. I can't say, the car was like creeping. But, you know, can't say that everything's gonna be perfect sunshine, rainbow, and cupcakes, but it's definitely looking a lot better, and I'm working on it overall, and that's the most important thing, because how are things going to get better if it's not something that I'm going to work on and try to get better at? But Fetty Free since 4/20/25, and I just want to give much love to anybody that's on any type of MAT, whether you are or you're not. I give you credit as well if you're not on anything, but I give a lot of credit to people that are on it, and people that had to find ways. Like, people are drinking energy drinks, coffee. Some people are smoking a little bud. Some people are just have their squares. Like, some people just have their own little things. And I think the biggest thing first is you want to just make sure you're not doing your DLC. I feel like that should be like the number one thing. Then from there, you could work on, it's maybe trying to cut out these other habits. But as long as you're stopping from the initial things that actually make your life spiral out of control and would bring you to the lows, if smoking bud is not going to bring you to the lows, you're not going to be spending all your money on it, you're not going to be calling someone for it. I feel like that kind of shows you, it shows you a different situation than if, like, even with bud, like, when you don't have it, you're angry, or you are spending your last on it, or you're making poor choices on it. And I feel like I personally have been just trying to lower with it, because I've always said I just wanted to. I would use the excuse like of being bored, to be honest. So that's just a big reason of, I find, like, having to go to the gym and such. And I feel like it's also a positive thing I'm doing with myself, looking better, feeling better. Then, you don't know, doors to things like that open. I remember some people would spark conversations with me because they seen I had a build. So I just think in general, getting out there, you don't know who you're gonna meet, what you're gonna learn, and how life could kind of change. Even if it's in a small way, you met someone, but it's years later that you're even using that context. But I think it's also about just not being like a dick straight up. Don't go with this being negative to people, or being rude, or act like you are owed something or deserve anything any more than someone else. Doesn't matter if you're at the gym and you're bigger, or you compete and there's